people. Today I'm bringing you a little bit of California sunshine, which is what I'm calling this set. Now we're going to be starting off with the building of the nails on part of these because that's part of this design. And I'm starting off with my McCart builder gel. I just call it poly gel, but okay, we've got some of these. These are Opal flakes. I'm not sure what to call them exactly. They're not mylar and they're not like chrome flakes, but there's some kind of a something in that category. Anyway, I got that whole box of the different colored ones off Allie, of course. And I believe I used some of these the last time I tried to do an opal set, and I mixed a bunch together and it came out muddy looking and I didn't like it. So that's the last time I've done anything with them, but I'm just going to mix this into the poly gel. And I'm going to start off by just putting a little bit of this on the nail that I'm going to do these on. And I'm going to just kind of smoosh it around so I get kind of a base coverage of this stuff. Now, when I figured out the time for this set, which FYI it took me 3.5 hours, theoretically, I only counted an hour for this part of it, but I guarantee you it took me much longer than that to get all of these done that needed the encapsulation and then all the filing and buffing and all that jazz. So I mean, I'm sure you guys are probably much faster at this kind of stuff than me. I'm a very slow worker. Once I get this spread out enough for my satisfaction, then we are going to go on to the next step. And there's a hair, which I think is going to get incorporated into there. Okay, now we don't cure that yet. Now these flowers came from weeds that were all over my yard. I liked the little yellow flowers, so I cut a bunch of them off and then I dried them in borax for a couple of months. They've been sitting in there because frankly I forgot about them. Good old 20 mule team borax. I use that all the time for drying flowers. Okay, then we're just going to take these little flowers now and we're going to mash them down onto that stuff we just put on there. The poly gel mixed with the other stuff. Don't you guys love my technical terms? Oh man. So we're just going to keep putting these on here. Now I wanted to do the whole flowers on, but as I was cutting them apart, they were just like kind of exploding and disintegrating. So I ended up mostly with a lot of little petals on there. Okay, I'm just going to take some alcohol on my brush and I'm just going to kind of mash these down so they're as flat as I can get them. That piece with the stem didn't want to mash very well. And then we're going to move on to the next one. I almost screwed up right there. I almost put it on my ring finger where I didn't want it. Hey, I think I'm going to show you 2 more of these and that's going to be it. You probably don't even need to see those 2, but I've recorded them and filmed them, so here they are. You're just going to be doing the same thing. Now I believe I have sped these up on this part now, so it should go a little faster. Yeah, we have in between our house and the neighbor next door, there's an empty lot, which we call the no man's land. And in the springtime, neither one of us wants to be in charge of keeping the weeds down, so it kind of gets out of control for a while, and then we do half of it, and then the other neighbor does their side, you know, their half. But in the meantime, these weeds were like 3-4 feet tall, and they were loaded with all these yellow flowers, and I kept walking by there. Every day when I'd walk by there to go out and water my plants or get the mail or whatever, I'd see all these little yellow flowers, and like, I should be able to do something with those. So I yanked up one of those weeds out of the yard, the entire bush. I brought it into my kitchen, and I sat there and cut off a bunch of these little yellow flowers and dried them. So if anybody were to order this set, you would be getting some genuine California weeds in there. And once again, the flowers are on there. I'm just going to mash them down. This is why we didn't cure that bottom part, because I wanted to have, I wanted it to be something to be tacky and sticky, so I could mash these flowers down onto it, so that when I do the rest of the polygel for the encapsulation, they would be stuck there and they wouldn't be moving around and coming off and making a mess. So that's why I'm doing it this way. You may or may not have noticed there's a red spot on that nail that I'm working on right now. Towards the end of the last set that I had on, I bent that nail backwards. I forget what I was doing, but it got bent backwards, and now I have a big bruise on my nail. That's one of the reasons I took my nails off early, because I had broken a couple of them, and there was no point in repairing them and fixing them when I was just going to be redoing the whole thing in a couple days. So just in case anybody was wondering, that's for you, Amy. I know we just had the whole discussion about not being able to function when you don't have your nails on. And I'm putting a couple of those little yellow petals over top of that red spot in hopes that it will disguise it and you don't see it through there. As I was going along, as you'll notice on the pinky, I didn't add that many. I had like 2 flowers. As I was going further along, I was adding more and more of the little yellow petals in, because I have tons of them, number 1, and number 2, I just wanted more of them on there. Okay, now I've cured those now, so those are all cured and they're on. So now we're just going to go in with the polygel, and I definitely have sped this up. Now I'm having a lot of problems with my polygel, because I think it's just the heat that's making it too thin, and it was super sticky. It was very hard to work with, because I'm pretty sure, as I said, the heat has affected it. And I didn't think of it at the time, but later on I thought I should have put it in the refrigerator for a little while before I started with it. So next time when I do my next set on me, I'm going to try that, see if it helps. Because normally the McCart builder gel, extension gel, whatever you want to call it, it's normally really thick, and you really have to work it to move it around and do stuff. That's why I like it. But when it, like it is now, is super sticky, it was very hard to work with. Okay, I'm showing you this one because we're here, and this is going to be one of the accent nails. Boy, I wish I could normally work at this fast speed, because that would speed up my process considerably. It usually takes me about between 3 and 4 hours to do my whole set of polygels, put them on. You know, do all the prep work, put them on, then do all the filing and buffing and all that nonsense. So that's why I generally do that one afternoon, and then the following day is when I do the nail art on my own. It's always a 2-day process, but since this one had encapsulated stuff, this part of it got incorporated into the first day. So, and now here comes the tricky part, because now I don't cure these until I get all 4 fingers done, and you're gonna see what happens. And I do it every damn time. I end up bumping at least one of them and messing it up, and then having to go back and straighten it out again. See, I just bumped that one with one of my fingers on my other hand after I just had it perfect. So now I got to go back and straighten it back out. I mean, I could cure these as I go one by one, but that's just going to make the time take even longer. Since I cure this gel for 2 minutes, if I cured these one at a time, that's going to add an extra 20 minutes just in curing time to my whole process. So I don't need to be having anything make extra time for me. It takes me long enough as it is. But anyway, these will be fully encapsulated, as you can see. Also, when I'm putting my polygel on, I like to work, once I get it out to all the edges properly, then I like to work in a side view of it. So I'm flattening it out and getting it smoothed out. I'll look at it like that from the side as I'm flattening and moving around doing things. Okay, this one was a little thin near the cuticle area, so part of the stuff I took off the end to put back up here. Now we're going to mash that in, smooth it out. Anyway, as I was saying, I like to work looking at it from the side view, because that way I can see where the lumpy bumpiness is and where it needs to be maybe pulled down the nail farther or what have you. See, now I can see those little bits of stuff sticking up that I don't want to be sticking up through that. Plus, I like my nails to be on the thin side. I don't like when they're real big and chunky, which that's why I don't do encapsulations on my own very often, because they do come out chunkier than I like them, and that bothers me. But I really liked how they looked, this looked at the end, so I can put up with a little chunkiness for this time. I'm about to touch that other nail again and mess something up, I can just tell. Okay, this is the last one you're going to see. We have moved on to the... Have we? No, we haven't. Yes, we have? Yeah, we moved on to the... No, we haven't. I think this is the last one I'm going to show you. Yeah, okay, now I've cured all of those. I've done all the filing and buffing on all of them. And now we're ready to start the nail art day. Or the nail art, as it's the same day for you guys, not for me. Okay, we're going to go in with white on all the nails that we haven't encapsulated, which is going to be the 2 ring fingers and the 2 thumbs. We're going in with white. And look at that mess on my... Look at all that sweaty stuff on there. That's just from laying my arm across there while I had it in there curing that white polish. Gee whiz. Okay, this is the second coat. Curing. Okay, moving on. Now I've got these little frame things. They're metal. They came from Allie, of course. I have pulled out all of them I'm going to need in the triangle ones, because I needed to make sure I was going to have enough before I started gluing them on. And we got our trusty gem glue. Okay, now we want to put the gem glue on the back side of these. There is a front and a back, and you can tell by they're slightly curved, so they lay on your nail flat. So the back side obviously is where the curve goes in. I'm just going to show you on this one nail, and the rest of them are going to be done the same. The only difference is on the thumbnails I did 3 triangles, and on the ring fingers I just did 2. But we're going to get that on there where we want it. Go on with the next one. Okay, that one did not want to stay on there. It was really hard to get a grip on these things, like in a tiny area, a firm enough grip that I can then be pushing against it with the glue, kind of, without dropping it. And I'm transferring it from hand to hand, and so things kept falling out of my tweezers. And is this the one? Yep, that's the one that I dropped, and of course it has to land with the glue side down, just like the jelly bread situation. Inevitably you drop it, a toast, and the jelly side always lands down. Okay, once I'm happy with the placement on those, I'm going to go ahead and give that a cure so they don't go moving around. And as I've said before, when you're putting something on and you want it centered, look at it from several different angles. Don't just look at it from the top down, because you'll find that it may not be centered that way, and that's what usually happens with me. Okay, I have cured that now, and I've put all the rest of those on. And now I'm going in with just a little bit of base coat just in the middle of those triangles. And what I'm doing is I'm just picking up a tiny bit of these opal flakes, and I just want to put them in the corners of the triangles. I don't want them like taking up the whole thing. Well, that's kind of a big one, and it doesn't want to move now. I just wanted a little bit in here to tie in the usage of these with the encapsulated nails. I hope you guys can't hear this, but my computer's making an odd noise right now that I've not heard before. I'm guessing that does not bode well for me, because I cannot afford a new computer right now. I can't have this thing going out. Once I get enough of those in there that I'm happy with, and I'm going to put some of these petals in. I wanted to put a full flower in each of the triangles, but they were just too big. It wasn't going to work. So I'm just going in with some of the petals. Come on, get off of there. You would think with the base coat that they would stick in there easily and get off of this easy, pretty quick, but they didn't. Now I want to move them around a little, but I want to make sure they stay within the triangle. Then I am going to use my LED flashlight to cure that in a flat manner. Now I had issue with this. You can see my thumbnail right there. I've done that one already. That was kind of my practice one before I started recording. And I lost one of my petals, but I think I got it back. Okay, now I'm going to give them another layer of base coat just over the triangle, and we're going to cure that. And now that's cured, we're going to put another layer of base coat over the entire nail this time. And there's our requisite hair. Actually, that's a few hairs in, and you didn't see most of them I pulled off of there. Okay, we're going to cure that. When it comes back out, we're going to go in with a layer of tempered top coat. And while we're at it, we're going to top coat the rest of them. I just love doing top coat on the encapsulated stuff. It always looks so much nicer after it's top coated. It just comes alive. Then it has all the depth, and the colors are so bright. It's so shiny. I really like the look you get with it, but I just don't do it very often, because like I said, it makes my nails really chunky, and I don't like that. Okay, we're going to cure that. Oh yeah, first here's a side-by-side comparison of top coat, no top coat, so you could see the difference. And now we're going to cure it. Okay, moving on to embellishing. Okay, I've got these yellow opal crystals. We're going to use those. And we'll be using gold caviar beads. And we're going to get our glue on here, gem glue. Now I also had issues with the gem glue this day. It seemed to be looser than usual. And my stuff was sliding around more than it usually does. I think it's just the heat that's just messing with everything because it's been so ridiculously hot here. As you guys know, I'm not a gold person, so I didn't want to call this anything with gold in the name. Hence the reason we have California Sunshine. I'm choosing to look at these more as yellow than gold. Okay, on the ring fingers, I'm doing 5 of the crystals. I will also be doing a crystal cuff on the index fingers, 5 again. And then on the thumbs, which you're not going to see me do, but there's 7 crystals on the cuff of the thumb. This is the only one I'm going to be showing because they're all going to be the same basically, and it just took me so long messing around with the one. I didn't feel like recording any of the other ones. At least I don't think. I'm pretty sure this is the only one. No glue. And normally when I just touch these where the glue is and they stick right on, but they did not want to come off of the dotting tool. And why I'm using the dotting tool, I don't know. At some point I'm going to switch to a brush because that seems to be the thing that I have the best luck with as far as the caviar beads go. See, everything is just moving around way too much. And I've got to redo my placement on these things so much. It was so frustrating. It seems like it's just taking longer and longer to get these crystals on when I'm doing them these days. I'm having more issues with them than I used to. Another hair. There it is again. Some of the joys of living in a house of cats. Cat hairs, you can't escape them no matter what you do, and they're not even allowed in this room, so any hairs that get in here come in here on me, despite the fact that I usually roller myself off before I come in here to work on stuff. Trying to get that one to stay perfectly placed on the top point of there. Okay, now we're ready to cure. We've cured that. I've done the rest of them. Now final top. Going in with the top just over the ones we just did, all those accent ones, and the index finger. We're giving them a final top to help seal those caviar beads on, and to clean up any gluey mess that I may have left around there, which I inevitably do every time. I will cure those and then we will be done. Now I thought about doing a clear coat underneath the ones that have the encapsulation, but I decided against it. I don't think they totally need it. But here they are finished. A little slice of California Sunshine for you. I hope you like them. I think they turned out pretty nice. There's the 2 thumbs. If you do like them, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. And there, see, did you see how flat those triangles were laying against there? I was really happy with that because now they aren't going to get caught on anything. And anyways, if you want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I upload a new tutorial every Saturday. So I'm not sure what I'm doing next time, but it's going to be something. So try to stay cool out there, enjoy the rest of your summer, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.